Hello, how's it going? Hi, everyone. Welcome to the final live stream of pre-launch week. Bow, 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 bow. Hello. Hello. Happy to be here. Super excited. I mean, okay, listen, it's kind of a heavy topic, so I don't know if I should be like, wow, super excited to talk about fear. But I'm excited for the final day of pre-launch week. Okay, our giveaway has ended. It ended last night, and winners will be announced via email in 1 minute. Those emails are going out. So thank you to everyone who entered. It is not too late to still get your hands on the Catalyst Academy at the lowest price it's ever gonna be. Bow, 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 bow. Sorry. You can get it at the payment plan for 99 bucks a month. Or if you pay in full, you get a free 30-minute session with me, and we'll talk everything about you and your channel and then all your hopes and dreams and fears. We'll talk through it. There's also the Catalyst Club comes with the course, and you can post all your fears in there too. And there will be a hell of a lot of commiseration, because I guarantee you everyone has felt what you're feeling right now. However you're feeling, whatever anxiety you're feeling about, like, making a channel. So let's talk about fear. If you want to learn more about Catalyst Academy, that link is down in the description. But one of the things that I hear a lot of people saying when they're thinking about starting a YouTube channel is just that they're afraid. They're afraid of putting themselves out there, which is fair. Valid. They're afraid of what other people are going to think, their friends and family, especially when they're just starting and they keep posting and it's getting 5 views and they're like, oh no, oh no. And now I'm actually trying at this and it's not immediately exploding in popularity. And now I'm uncomfortable. What is this random person that I went to college with who I'm still friends with on Instagram for some reason? What are they going to think when I start posting about my new video? Like, it's a whole danged thing. And it's valid. It's valid, okay? It's one of the most common fears that I hear from people who want to start a YouTube channel. What will my friends and family think? Or what will that random person from college who still follows me on Instagram think, etc.? And that fear is fair. It can be incredibly cringe. Let's just be honest. It's incredibly cringy to post a video and get 10 views and tell all your friends and family on Instagram and YouTube that you're doing it. Or maybe you're so afraid of what they'll think that you don't tell them at all. And your YouTube channel becomes your little secret. Like, what if they find out? And they're just hanging over your head. Like, I'm living a double life. I've experienced both. When I started, I didn't have any, like, when I started my first channel, I didn't have any following of any sort, like on Instagram or anywhere else. So it was starting from scratch. And like, for me, it was really cringy too, because I was posting about the law, not long after having graduated from law school and passed the bar. Like, I took the courses. I was successful. I passed the bar. I was a lawyer when I started and still am. But it's very easy to think, who the hell am I? Who the hell am I to be opening my mouth publicly here on YouTube? I don't know everything. Why do I think that I have the right to do this? And so I had to push through that. Because the thing is, you don't have to know everything to be successful on YouTube. And in fact, I pushed against it because one of my big hairy why, the big why behind why I started this channel, which we talked about yesterday when we talked about niching. You can still watch that live stream. It's still up. One of my big hairy whys was how inaccessible the law is because of how elitist lawyers are and how they treat the law as though it's like brain surgery. And it's not that hard. And so I decided, you know what, actually, the fact that I'm not, 20 years entrenched in my legal career is an asset. to me. I'm not going to go into this saying I know everything about the law. I'm going to go into this saying I know enough about the law to be dangerous. All right. And I want you to as well. And you shouldn't have to go to law school to know most of this shit. Okay. So because of that, I decided, all right, my big why was a huge impetus to push me past that fear. And then also not knowing everything, I decided was okay. I didn't need to know everything. My audience wasn't other lawyers. If it was other lawyers, sure, I should probably be more experienced because other lawyers are going to know as much as me, if not more, because they also did law school and the bar. So if my audience was other lawyers, that changes the equation. But my audience was not other lawyers. My audience was people who have never been to law school, typically, though I do have lawyers who watch and comment and stuff, which is great. But at first I was terrified of other lawyers finding my stuff and like picking holes in my arguments or telling me that I got something wrong. Terrified. I was terrified to put it on Twitter because two of my, at least one, maybe two, one of my professors from law school follows me there. I'm to this day horrified that she knows that I exist publicly on the internet because I admire her and respect her so much. And she's so cool. And like we've emailed and she seems supportive of what I'm doing. So it's probably fine. But like I still want to barf when she likes tweets of mine where I'm promoting a video that I made, especially about constitutional law, because she was my constitutional law professor. And she's so cool. And it's fucking terrifying. And I've just re-experienced this again, launching Delusion Media in this course because I'm posting it all over my LinkedIn feed. I don't post my YouTube videos on LinkedIn generally, but this, because it's my business, I'm posting it on LinkedIn where all of the lawyers I've worked with in the past are like connected to me and they see it. That makes me want to barf if I think too hard about it. I hate it because like this entrepreneurial space is very off the beaten path for what a lawyer should be doing. And so the judgment that they might be feeling towards what I'm doing, what I'm building, what I'm creating, yeah, I try not to think about it. That's honestly the secret sauce. I just don't think about it. Sometimes I think about it and then I say, oh, we're not going to go there. I can't care about that because that feels awful if I think too hard about that and about how like most of the people that I worked with, like as a lawyer, are very entrenched in the legal system. And so they're part of the thing that I'm trying to dismantle. So of course there might be some judgment there. Of course there might be some people who are like, what the hell is she doing? She is throwing away her career. Because I am throwing away my legal career. I don't want to practice law anymore. I want to do this. I want to like do business and make YouTube videos about the law. I love talking about the law. Anyway, I could go on and on. The point being, I have very much experienced the fear that I know you are probably feeling as well. It is cringy to start posting videos and like either tell your friends and family about it, which I think you should, but I get it if you're afraid of judgment. Then it's like your secret. And what if they find out, which also weighs on you? Because I didn't tell my law firm when I started my law channel. I didn't tell my law firm because there are no rules relating to lawyers who on social media, because the lawyers who make the rules are so old that they don't even think to do it. So I was like, this is a situation where I'm going to ask for forgiveness instead of asking for permission. And luckily I never had to ask for forgiveness. So it was never an issue, but it was definitely a thing that weighed on me. And I hated having this secret. Even though I knew I was following like code of ethics for a lawyer, like I was doing all the things, but it's still off the beaten path for what a lawyer should do. So it felt bad. Or it felt like I had to hide it. And that weighs on you. So if there's any way where you can swallow the cringe and just post publicly about what you're doing and not be afraid of like other people seeing that will actually probably weigh on you less. And the more you do it, the more you'll get used to like, oh, I don't like that. Like I can think of some people who are going to see this and I'm afraid of what they're going to think of me. It gets easier and easier to kind of like choke that back down, be like, I'm doing it anyway. Because here's the thing, you're starting a YouTube channel because you want to be seen, right? Otherwise, what you would try something else, you know? Even if it's not your number one motivator, there's something in you that decided that posting videos on a public forum and growing a following there is something that you want. And that's okay. But in order to do that, you have to get over your fear of being seen. You have to be willing to be seen publicly. Specifically, and more importantly, you have to get over your fear of being seen trying. Don't be afraid to be seen trying, because that is vulnerable. It is incredibly vulnerable to show up publicly online and try at something. Try at creating a channel and a following. Try at putting yourself out there and your creativity out there for everyone to watch. I am going through this right now with this course. I'm trying so hard with this course. I put so much work into this. I'm so excited. I feel so proud of the course that I've created, the Catalyst Academy. I feel like I have really packed it full of knowledge. I'm putting a lot of eggs in this basket because of how excited and proud I am of it. But it is terrifying to now be putting this out in the world and be like, oh my God, people are going to see this. What if it's not good enough? What if it fails? And then everyone sees that I failed at it or that I'm bad at it. Terrifying. But I'm going to do it anyway. Why? Because I'm passionate about this. I love making content on YouTube and I want to teach other people how to do it too. And I think that I have a lot of great tips and tricks to do it. And I think that there's people who would enjoy learning from me. Yeah, there's a ton of other YouTubers out there who have how to make a YouTube channel courses. But I know that there are people out there who want to learn the information from me, from my perspective, and using my specific tips and tricks, you know? And so I want to put that out there. I want to try. And part of doing that is being willing to be seen while you're doing it. And that's incredibly vulnerable. And as vulnerability scholar and all-around badass Brené Brown, we know Brené, we love Brené, as she puts it so poignantly, vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. Vulnerability is not weakness. It's our greatest measure of courage. Okay? So your willingness to show up and be seen is courageous, not cringy. All right? And anyone who thinks otherwise just doesn't get it. And that's on them. That's not on you, because anyone who gets it, anyone who's done this before, who's courageously tried very publicly at something before, be that an artist, a musician, another YouTuber, even another entrepreneur or business person who has put themselves out there, if they've done it before courageously and tried publicly, they will see you doing the same and they'll get it. They'll get it. They'll understand the courage that takes. They'll understand how important it is to show up and be vulnerable and be seen in this way. And they'll understand the doors that can open and the relationships it can build and the lessons it can teach to be vulnerable and show up publicly and try. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it, but it's not. And the benefits of doing it are endless. And denying yourself that opportunity by being too afraid to try publicly is closing the door on worlds of possibility. So don't close the door on yourself because you're afraid what a few people who've never had the courage to try before might think of you. They don't get it. But you do. I do. The other people in Catalyst Academy who are going to be hanging out in the Catalyst Club, also creating content and learning, they'll get it. And that's what matters. The people who don't get it don't matter. Or maybe they do to a certain part of your life, but not to the overarching trajectory of your life. Because truly the doors that growing a following on YouTube can open can't really be overstated. Yes, it takes time. You're not going to post one video today and have $1 million tomorrow sitting at your doorstep. But I can say before I ever hit 1,000 subscribers, I was invited to speak on my first panel. I have met other creators that have been really cool and interesting to meet. I feel pride in this thing that I've built, this channel. I've made connections with people I never would have met otherwise. I was able to quit my awful job and just do YouTube. And it's given me the freedom to fix my health. My hormones were all out of whack because I was so burnt out from practicing law. And I make content on YouTube so I can go to the doctor at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. You know, I can do regular acupuncture appointments at 1 in the afternoon on Mondays every week because I have that flexibility, because that's what YouTube has afforded me. And I want other people to have that, which is why I've created this course. And I'm so excited because I have packed it full of knowledge. But the thing about this is, and the thing about YouTube is, you have to show up and you have to actually try. I can only hold your hand so far through the process. I will teach you all of my tips and tricks. I will teach you the steps you have to take to make amazing videos that people are going to find so entertaining. They're going to binge watch. They're going to follow you. You're going to be a star. You know, I can teach you all the tips that I have, all the tricks I got up my little sleeves. All right. But if you don't show up and try and put in the work, it's not going to happen. And you see this a lot with people who are so afraid of trying publicly that they'll half-ass it and then say, you know what, it's fine, I didn't even care that much about it anyway, when they inevitably fail. Don't be that person. Show up and try, and like genuinely put all your eggs in the basket and really try. I'm not saying like quit your job right now and like from square one start, like don't put all those eggs in that basket, all right? But like put the eggs in your basket, meaning put your effort in, put all your effort into it and all your hopes and dreams. I encourage you to, because that's going to make you want to keep showing up and trying your hardest, which is going to lead to more success than if you half-ass it because you're afraid you might fail. Okay? So your fear is very valid. It's very common, but you should not let it stop you. And you should not let it overcome your drive to be seen publicly trying in anything in your life, but in this context, by creating a YouTube channel. All right. Let me see your comments. Let me throw some comments or questions in the chat if you have any. It was just a pep talk today. It's what I wanted to do for you, because whether or not you buy my course, like if you're here, you're probably thinking about starting a channel, and sometimes it takes months of just like ruminating on it before you decide, yeah, okay, I'm ready. Because it does take effort and you need to be in the right headspace and at the right place to do that. This course will always be here for you if you'd like to purchase it later. But if you purchase it now, it's lifetime entry access. So you can purchase it now and take it whenever you do have the time and energy and you are ready to go all in. But don't let your fear be the thing that holds you back. Let's see. Yeah, Fred, to be honest, I feel like I'd have 10 times more anxiety if overnight hundreds of thousands are watching my first few videos. Yeah, that's fair. Like when my first videos didn't get a ton of views because no one's do. But when I started having videos that were getting more views, or like my first video that was kind of blowing up and it hit 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 views, and my subscribers went from 1,000 to 5,000 to 10,000 to 20,000, like it's so scary the first time it happens, because it's like, oh, you are thrust into the public sphere. And so for a lot of people, and a lot of YouTubers also say this, like hoping for virality, especially early on, isn't necessarily the best thing. Especially like you see this a lot in TikTok stars, because most people, especially who blew up in like 2020, 2021, they blew up overnight. Like you can go viral on TikTok overnight in a way that you can't do on any other platform. And so maybe they blew up for one video and then they made a series on that video and they continued to blow up. And the pressure of that level of visibility when it goes from 0 to 1,000% intensity overnight, like that's hard momentum to keep up. And then you start expecting like every video that I make is going to get millions of views. It's going to go viral. And when that stops happening, because it inevitably will, because doing content is a roller coaster, no matter how big you are, it will inevitably, you will reach a point where you put something out that no one watches, or like, no one, a much smaller number of people watch than you're used to. And the level of self-doubt that comes into it, Like, I feel very lucky that my trajectory has been, you know, successful but steady, nothing like out of the world like crazy. Like, I didn't go from 0 to 1,000,000 subscribers overnight. I'm glad for that because the first year and a half probably of my channel, I really hung on views, ad revenue, income. Like, is this new video that I just put out, is it performing better than my last video? Why not? What's wrong with me? I lost my touch. This was all a fluke. It's all going to go away. That is really easy to think that way when you're getting started, and it can really easily lead to burnout and resentment because you're like, I'm trying so hard. Why don't these people want to see what I have to put out there? And I'm glad that I had that to an extent, but it wasn't based on millions of anything. You know, it was based on tens, hundreds of thousands of views, which is still a lot to think about. But I've had the space and the time where I've not blown up in a way that's just astronomical to get over that. And now, like, I put out a video and I say, great. And I keep an eye on the numbers, but I'm already thinking about the next video. And I know that, like, there will be another video that knocks it out of the park, that'll get a bunch of views. There will be, if I just keep putting stuff out. And sometimes it won't. The video that I think is going to do well isn't gonna. And that's all right, because I'm in it for the long haul and I have accepted the roller coaster of content creation. So that was a really long-winded way to say, yeah, you're right. Let's see. Yes, Nikita, in fashion, terrified of the criticism I'd get for being critical of the industry. Right. And you might, but who's your audience? Is your audience other people in your industry, or is it people who don't know about fashion, or people who have less expertise? Because I found, at least for my videos, I mean, I do get some lawyers who watch, but, like, I'm not, the content I'm making isn't for other lawyers, so the number of other lawyers who are watching is very low because I'm like, the content that I'm making isn't a deep dive analysis into the intricacies of very specific laws. It's like, here's what the 14th Amendment says. Other lawyers don't need that information. They can figure that out on their own if they already know, you know? So for me, knowing that my audience isn't other lawyers because I'm not making content for other lawyers, I am very specific about who my viewer is, which we talk a lot about in the course because it's really a very important thing to be specific about who your viewer is. Then that means that I'm not getting criticism from other lawyers because they're just not watching my content because it's not for them. So maybe that can give you some peace of mind of, like, your fashion content might not be for other people in your industry. And if it is, then you can see it as an opportunity to create discussion within your industry. And that's still scary if you go against the grain in any way of anything ever. Like, it's always going to be scary. But I mean, if you're passionate enough about it that you want to put videos out about it, then it could be just an interesting way to spark discussions. Is the price of the course, if paid in full for 1 year, does that price gain us access forever? That gets you access forever. That's a lifetime access for the paid in full or for the payment plan. So the payment plan is 12 months. And that gives you lifetime access as well. So after you pay for 12 months, you no longer pay and you still get access, or you pay in full right now and you get access for life. Let's see what other questions we have here. Nikita, you said, is the money worth it? What do you mean? If you want to expand on that, I'm happy to answer. And yeah, part of why I'm doing this course as well is because I see everyone around me, my friends on TikTok, random people, everyone's burnt out because the pandemic took a fucking toll on us and we are still recovering. Like, I have been actively seeing a doctor to recover from my burnout, and it's taken me 8 months and I feel good, but I'm still, like, working on it. You know, my cortisol levels are still iffy. Okay. And I've had a doctor helping me along the way. So, like, we were all or are currently so burnt out, and having an out for me was I don't know that it saved my life, but it certainly saved my quality of life, because by the time I was at the end of my rope at the law firm I worked at, I had lost my period. Like, my body was shutting down. I was having a panic attack once a week. Like, we were code red. We were all code red everywhere in this body. It was real bad. And so having YouTube as an out, that was like, all right, it's not enough money to support me, but it's enough money that I don't feel like I'm ruining my life by leaving this job. Like, I'll take on some credit card debt if it means that I can get out of here and I'll have some sort of support through this YouTube channel. That was life-changing. Let's see. Yeah, put some skin in the game. That's a great way to put it. Don't be afraid to put a little skin in the game. Because life's too goddamn short, you know? And I could go on about that for a long time. Life's too short not to try at shit, not to do the thing that's been like nagging at you. Because starting a YouTube channel, I wanted to start a YouTube channel when I was like 15, and I did, and it was bad. And then I deleted it all and then started thinking about it again at like 25, and then started thinking seriously about it for like 8 months before I finally like bit the bullet and like started the channel. So it's a process, and it's okay if you're not at the point in your process where you're like, I'm ready to start today. But if it's something that's been gnawing at you, that you're like, I have so much to say, and I really think that I could add to the discussion, or that this could be a really cool creative outlet for me, or a way for me to find a voice in a world that feels really chaotic, and you don't do it, life's too short. You got to do it. Yes, Tessa. It's funny because now that I have started actually posting, I'm not scared at all. I'm just having fun. If I think about it too much, then yes, I get scared. Yeah. Just don't think about it. Just start posting. And then what's fun is that, like, as you stop thinking about it, what are other people going to think? What judgment am I getting? How well am I doing? Is this video going to be the one that pops off? When you stop thinking about it that way and you just start thinking like, I'm going to just start posting, because there's a reason you want to start posting. Like, you have something to say, and that's fun. And when you start thinking about it in that way and you just keep posting without like paying too close of attention to the results, then it gets even more fun, because then you're posting more than you would be if you were sitting around wasting energy thinking about what ifs. You're posting more, so you see more success. And then it becomes this like momentum that it's a lot easier to keep up. So instead of like stopping yourself in your tracks with fear or overanalysis, just keep posting. And that wheel of, or ball of momentum will just keep going. Obviously, you don't want to be in a hamster wheel, which is why I enjoy YouTube, because the content has a longer shelf life than like a TikTok, which you have to post a new one every day, 3 times a day. Some people say YouTube has a longer shelf life, so it's less of a hamster wheel, but it's still like, it's more fun if you just think about it as like, all right, what am I going to post next? Okay, great. What am I going to post next? You know? Yes, being mad sometimes is what you need. How do you be so awesome? Shucks. Stop. All right. Is it viable to afford rent? $2,000 a month. Here's the thing. So the course talks about getting started on YouTube and making great content so that you continue to grow. It does not delve into the monetization of your YouTube channel, because it's not something that I think you should be thinking about until you've hit 1,000 subscribers. When you hit 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, that's when you can monetize your channel. 4,000 watch hours just means people have watched your content for a cumulative 4,000 hours. So if you have one video that's 30 minutes and, 10 people watch it, then that's 500 minutes, and you need 4,000 hours. Okay. So it's a lot. It takes time. It took me 8 to 10 months. I forget, somewhere around there, 8, 9 months of like frustration and just grueling it out before I monetized. And then your ad revenue that you get through YouTube, like the ads that play before your videos, it's so variable. It changes so much. And it's frankly not enough. Like, at my size, I'm probably making $1,000 a month on my law YouTube channel from just ad revenue. So the money comes from working with brands where you say like, "Hi, this video is sponsored by so and so. Here's my spiel about them." That's where the money comes, because there I can earn $1,000 on one video, or, sometimes higher than that for a single video. So that's where the money comes in. But that takes time. It takes time, and it takes a different level of like knowledge, like thinking about rates and what you should charge and who you should work with. Like, that's another discussion that I'd like to have in the Catalyst Club at some point. Like, as people are taking the course and growing and monetization becomes a question that people have in the course, I definitely want to talk about it in the Catalyst Club, which is why I'm going to be doing like regular Q&A sessions, regular conversations with other YouTubers where we'll talk about monetization and things like that. I'm open to doing like webinars and other things within the club to expand on things that people have a lot of questions on. So getting into monetization is something that we'll talk about, but it's not part of the core course because it does take time. And so I don't want to promise you something that's like 10 months plus off. And even then it's kind of a roller coaster as well. So yes, there are people who make a lot of money on YouTube. The amount that you make can sometimes depend on the niche that you choose. Like if you're in finances or tech recommendations, like you can make a lot of money on like recommending tech and they use your Amazon affiliate link, or getting sponsored by big tech and then they have a lot of money to throw at things. So it depends on a lot of factors. And so if you're in it just to get rich, not that I'm saying that you are, Nikita, but just like as a general disclaimer, it is not a get rich quick scheme. There are many people who make a lot of money, but there are also just as many people who don't. Probably more people who don't. Let's see. Yeah, so if we create a new channel today, when's the money security at a place? I can't tell you that. For some people, it takes 5 years. For me, it took 10 months before I got monetized and had brands starting to reach out to me. And even then, like, I quit my job earlier than a financial advisor would have advised me to do. I went into a lot of credit card debt that I'm still digging myself out from under when I quit my job and started YouTube full time. So I'm not going to sugarcoat that for you. Sugarcoat that. I'm not going to sugarcoat that for you. It takes time, and I can't tell you when, unfortunately. For me, it was worth it, honestly, to take on the debt because money is fake and my health isn't, and I needed that space. But it is a really real consideration, and I think you should try and give it a go and give it some time before you start depending on it for any source of income. Red Claw, do you still review brand contracts for creators? I would be willing to. Yeah, that's something that I've been offering like within the club. So if you're already a member, if you have the course and stuff, then it's like an extra, you get access to me. There's like an extra fee for it, but it's like exclusive. I'm not offering it to everyone in the world. And I think that can be really helpful. So yes. Yeah, merch can be a major aspect. Again, it depends on your niche and who your people are. If your people are the type of people who want to buy merch, or like you're ambitious about doing merch drops. I have merch, and like I've certainly made a few $100s on my merch. But it's not paying my bills, How much monthly is your course? So the link is in the description to learn everything about the course. There's 2 payment options. You can either, and these payment options end tonight at midnight. So you can either pay $995 once, and then you get lifetime access. And you also get a couple fun bonuses, including a half-hour free session with me if you pay in full. Otherwise, you can choose the 12-month payment plan, which is $99 per month for 12 months. And that gets you lifetime access as well. So you pay for 12 months, but you get it for life. Jordan, yes. Thank you so much for signing up. Amazing. Thank you for filling out that student survey. I'm excited to like actually learn about the people who are signing up. So I'm excited. Yay. Okay. Well, That's all I had for you. I hope that you feel pepped up, protected by my advice. Thank you. I thank you so much for being here. Thank you for participating over this week of this pre-launch sale. A reminder that it ends tonight at midnight Central Time. So that's in less than 12 hours. And then the price goes up. You can still buy it, but the price is going to go up. So this is the cheapest it's ever going to be. So if you think that you might want it at some point, it might be worth your while to take advantage now. And then you can take it at your own speed. And you can get some insight in the club right away. You get immediate access to the club. And yeah, I'm excited to launch this baby into the world. So launches June 1st. So this has been the pre-launch sale. When you buy, you get immediate access to the club. And then when the course launches June 1st, you'll get access right away. So thank you for being here. Let's see. Okay, one last question. Do you think it's possible to stay somewhat anonymous even though you show your face, like if you don't use your real name? Yes. There are people. So I really like Jamie Genevieve. She's a like Scottish makeup artist on YouTube. Her first name is Jamie. Her middle name, I think, is Genevieve. I have no idea what her last name is. I wouldn't even know really how to find it if I wanted to. So a lot of people will use their first and middle name. Another example is Brittany Broski. Brittany is her first name. Broski is a made-up last name. I wouldn't know how to find. I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure if I started Googling, I could find what her real last name is, but I don't know and I don't care. And so there are things you can do. And we talk more about that in the course, like picking a name for your channel. But there are things that you can do to stay somewhat anonymous. All right. Thanks for being here. Thank you for participating in this pre-launch sale. This has been so fun. Sale ends tonight at midnight Central Time. So don't be afraid to make the leap. Okay. Don't be afraid to be seen trying. All right. And I'll see you in the club. Bye.